Hello, beautiful humans. This is Jaylene and Jules from the Empowering Women Project, and you're listening to the EWP podcast.
This podcast is for the women who know deep in their soul they are here for more. If you are done with the BS stories and limiting beliefs that are holding you back from your dreams becoming a reality,
come jump in the driver's seat and pave the way back home to her. This is a space for you to feel seen, heard, supported, and accepted for who you are, who you were, and who you're becoming.
Celebrating you wherever you are in your journey. Sit back, grab a tea or a wine, and come empower yourself with us. Jules and Day, let's grow. Hello and welcome back to the EWP.
Hello, beautiful humans.
Today we are chatting all things nervous system regulation.
This is so exciting. We are actually just going to start off the episode with a little disclaimer that this is for entertainment purposes only, and if you feel you need to seek advice from a medical professional, go and do that. But we're just sharing our experiences and our knowledge that we have learned. But we're going to dive into our qualifications and go from there.
Yeah, so we do have a number of qualifications in order to navigate and chat about the nervous system. So I have a BA in psychology. I have my trauma-informed coaching certification, a master's in education, and 3.5 years of psychology sessions, internal family systems, and cognitive behavior therapy.
And I am an NLP practitioner, a meditation teacher, a trauma-informed coach, and 8 months of psychology appointments, EMDR, IFS, talk therapy, and have been on a personal development journey since 2019.
So yes, with all of that being said, we do strongly advise you to seek support from a professional. This is literally just our advice, our journeys, our toolkits for how we regulate our own nervous systems and how we keep them regulated.
Okay, now we're going to dive into nervous system regulation. We're going to give you the scientific meaning behind it. So nervous system regulation is a cascade of physiological responses our nervous system make to reduce heightened states of arousal and increase states of calmness during times of distress.
So we generally have 4 stress responses: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And these occur when our hormones are released in our body, prompting us to stay and fight or run and flee in danger. So if your body perceives itself to be in trouble, your system will work to keep you alive. How amazing are our bodies?
So amazing. Take a breath, take a moment.
Literally, it is just incredible to think about. We hold the power, and we always bang on about this. Like, we literally hold the power to control, to calm, to regulate our nervous systems. And so many people go through life just going, in this fight, flight, freeze. You don't have to be that way. You can develop tools and strategies to support your own body. And it's just magic.
100%. Like people that have been through trauma as we have in our early childhood, and we didn't have someone to co-regulate with, we kind of have been in a state of survival mode for most of our life. And there is like a stage where you start to begin to heal and to regulate your nervous system and learn all these tools and strategies where you actually get tired. You go through this like period where you're coming out of survival mode, and it's like you're catching up on all the sleep and the rest that you didn't have before because you were in a constant state of arousal. And it's just crazy. But we have epiphanies every single day since we've connected, and since I've gotten into therapy, and I can relate to things that Julia's been navigating in her therapy. And we're just like, wow, like, thank God we started regulating ourselves and our nervous system, because holy shit, you're a hot mess if you don't.
And it's such a surreal feeling when you get past that tired stage. Of course, there are times where we still feel tired. We're human beings, but it's a different type of tired. And it's just such a beautiful feeling to realize that you're in control of your own body, you're in control of your mind, and that, ultimately you hold that power to regulate yourself.
Yeah. On the back end of that, like the things that come from a dysregulated nervous system are mental health issues, chronic disease, difficulty with adult relationships, emotional regulation, and patterns of self-sabotage, just to name a few. I guess addiction would go in there as well, like alcoholism and stuff as well. So yeah, it's insane.
it just gets stuck in this sort of state. Like that's how we've learned and navigated, and that's how you spent your childhood. So your body knows only that. And it kind of just literally goes through life thinking, okay, this is how I've got to navigate my life. There's danger around me all the time. You don't feel safe in your own body. But great news, we're here to let you know that you can learn ways to bring it back to a state of homeostasis, which is a feeling of safe, calm, regulated. You literally feel safe within your own body.
And that's the thing, hey, is a lot of people have never actually felt safe in their environment, hence why they don't feel safe in their body, which has been just so magical, us learning that. It's like home is you, like your body is your home. And that's what this whole ethos around our podcast is. It's coming back home to her, which is you. And so powerful. I got absolute goosebumps all over my body right now. It's just when it lands, like when it truly lands, and you see the quotes all over Instagram and stuff like that, saying like, you are your home, your body is your temple, you know, treat it as though that. And like, until it actually fully lands, like it won't fully land. So we're here repeating it over and over until it really fully lands with you that your home is your body.
It's just, oh, it's so hard to explain, but we just want you to get the message. We want to get the message across that it is the most beautiful, literal feeling. You feel calm, you feel regulated, you feel, you know, you have life's normal ebbs and flows, and they come forward for you all the time. You know, we're still human beings. We still have life, you know, life's things thrown at us. However, we have developed tools and strategies to not only one, keep our bodies regulated consistently, but also when we're presented with a challenge in life, we then have the tools to regulate ourselves so that we can continue and ease through that challenge as best as we possibly can, rather than just sort of navigating it in chaos and, you know, letting our emotions take over and letting the feelings in our body take over. We're actually in control of that now, and you can be too.
Yeah, amen. And that's why generally a lot of people turn to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, because they're trying to feel that this calm, safe feeling in their body. And I know that might sound a little bit crazy, but like when, for example, when I was drinking alcohol, all I wanted to feel was just to like calm my nerves or my anxiety and stuff like that. But in turn, it actually made it worse. Like it's just crazy. But yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah. And it might help for the moment. You might feel really good, and it might help with social anxiety and, you know, turning to alcohol or drugs. However, you have the aftermath effects, and then your nervous system is even more dysregulated than you would have been. And then it's just like a cycle, a spiral over and over. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't want to feel like this. So in turn, I'm going to take something to calm that, which is alcohol. I'm going to take something to calm that, which is medications, whatever it may be for you. And it's just about really learning the coping mechanisms that can support you through that without having to turn to alternative substances.
Amen. And a lot of us have never actually felt safe. And coming from our situation, growing up and stuff, like, yeah, we didn't have the ability to co-regulate with our parents because they were so dysregulated themselves. So yeah, give yourself grace, beautiful humans, because it's a journey. It definitely really is a journey. And yeah, we highly recommend doing some therapy if you don't have someone to co-regulate with, or learn these tools. We really highly recommend being able to be in a space with a therapist or a professional to help you co-regulate.
You do not have to live in fear.
Yeah, literally. And and as much as we think the world isn't safe and there's things that happen that make us go, oh my God, and put us in fear, but things are always going to happen. But I was always running this story that like no one is safe. Like literally, I thought 95% of humans weren't safe. And it was a real eye-opener to me. I think I've said this in previous episodes where, yeah, it's actually most of the world is safe. It was just that program that was playing because of my nervous system. And now I just look at the world. Things have happened on the news recently that are quite crazy. And even me and you, we kind of had a moment where we're like, holy shit. But then we're like, actually, no, like what's the opposite to fear? It's love and light. Like obviously having the knowledge and the awareness around a lot of things, but also having that toolkit to bring us back and not feed more into the fear, because fear, like when you perpetuate fear, fear grows. And then on a collective level, that's just not great. So we need some people to hold the line and hold the light.
Definitely. And a lot of the time you'll hear things like, oh, you really need to work on your vagus nerve, and, relaxing that. And you'll hear a lot about cold therapy and somatic therapy and things like that. And so what that is doing is supporting you and activating your ventral vagus. So your ventral vagus is actually home. And some people will go their entire lives without soothing their central nervous system, thus never being aligned with their ventral vagus. It is absolutely wild to think about.
It is, hey, it really is. And we were those people as well. So if we can be a beacon of light, then it's totally doable. Like I said, we always reflect on how far we've come in our own journey. And for us to even share this, like we were writing out the notes last night and we were like, wow, we have learnt so much. Like, and it's actually really cool. They're life skills that we're able to use for the rest of our life. And obviously our toolkit would change as years go on and things might no longer work for us and stuff, but then we're able to teach our children and we're able to be that safe adult for our children to co-regulate with them and then teach them for their kids. Like you're actually changing generations when you really, really think about it.
It actually makes such a difference in my parenting. Even though I was engaging in therapy, I still hadn't really come home to myself. I feel like that feeling has only happened this year. It's only been in with the last couple of months because I had so many layers, almost like an onion that I had to peel back. And then there was another layer and peel back and there was another layer. And it was just like constant. But now I can look back and I'm like, even though I was the mom that I always wanted to be to my son, which is why I was led down the healing path in the first place, I still had moments where my nervous system was dysregulated. And as much as I tried to hide that from my son, he is like one with me. He feels when I'm off. He feels when my nervous system is dysregulated. And thus, he might be a little sillier. Like he's a pretty well-behaved child for a 3-year-old, not gonna lie, but he picks up on my energy. And so when my energy was off and all over the place and up and down, well, then so was his. And since the last couple of months, I've been in this state of literal coming home to myself. It shows, like it magnifies into my child. He feels it, and you can see he's super calm, and I'm able to co-regulate much better. I'm able to, hold the space for him a lot more. I always did that, but I had to take a lot of deep breaths in order to do so. And now I'm like, okay, I need to hold the space for him, and my system's regulated so I can do that. It's just, it's wild.
It's so beautiful. Hey, I wish like we could go through our voice clips and just put them into a podcast. I hope we could do that one day. But some of the epiphanies we have just throughout the day, it's just so beautiful. And even the same here, like I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism, and it wasn't great. It would give me anxiety, like so bad for days, weeks after it. And then I'd just drink again to get rid of that feeling and all the rest of it and stay in that loop. But then since I've committed to no alcohol and then therapy as well and going deep and recreating thought patterns and beliefs and also regulating my nervous system has in turn helped my kids. Like we just have a much calmer home now, and you really are the heart of the home as a mom. And it really is your duty if you have like unresolved trauma or a dysregulated nervous system, it is your job. Generally, a lot of people will put their kids in therapy thinking there's something wrong with them, which 100% could be things going on psychologically for children. But I think parents being in therapy as well and having a family therapist is so beneficial, like so beneficial. And you have your own as well, regulating yourself and learning the tools. So
the ripple effects are just like exponential. We promise you won't regret it. Is it going to be easy? Maybe not. Are you going to have tough moments? Hell yes. Are you going to want to give up? Yes. And you'll hear there's light at the end of the tunnel, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, like if I hear that one more time, but there literally is, I promise. We are in the light. We are at the end of the tunnel, and we want to share that. We want to share our toolkit with you. So let's hop into that.
Yes. So we got quite a list actually, but we just want to like preface all of them so you can take what you want, try them, and leave the rest. But what helps us are body check-ins. So like, a couple minute body check-ins just to be like, how am I feeling in my body today? You do these multiple times a day if you can. Set an alarm on your phone. Body scans are quite similar. You can use meditation music as well. Breathing techniques like the box breathing, 4 in, 4 out, 4 in, 4 out. And then Jules has 4-7-8 breathing method as well. Do you want to touch on that a little bit more? Because I'm not really familiar with that one.
Yeah, so you breathe in for the count of 4, you hold for 7, and then you breathe out for 8. And so it's just really having your body just sort of focus on that inhale and that exhale and really like drowning out that exhale, like pushing it outward. So you're literally getting that energy out of your body. And you're so focused on breathing in for 4, holding for 7, breathing out for 8, that before you know it, you're like, wow, I feel this is great. I feel so much better. So it's just interesting how doing that over just taking a breath in and out can be much more helpful.
Amen.
There is journaling, always a vibe, and you literally can just put pen to paper and write whatever comes to mind. You don't have to have a topic. You don't have to, you can literally just, I promise when you put pen to paper, the thoughts are going to flow. And you might even find that you write something down that happened a week ago, but it's all about the process. And that's what your body is trying to regulate from, is maybe something that happened a week ago. Meditation is always good. If you have trouble meditating, we've recommended in previous podcasts to try a walking meditation. So it does the same sort of thing, but however, you're able to go for a walk and it hones in on your senses. After that, soul walk. So we have really been honing in on soul walking at the moment. And what we mean when we say that is we are just walking a lot. We walk our little heart's content, we feel the breeze, we enjoy the weather, get our steps up, and it is just so calming for the mind. The endorphins get pumping, it is a vibe.
And there's no pressure on the soul walk. That's why it's called a soul walk. It's not, you're not doing it for a physique. You're not doing it for anything. You're literally doing it for your soul. And it's so beautiful. And bringing your kids on the journey if, you need to do that. But yeah, it's beautiful. Just getting out in the sunshine and doing different little paths around your neighborhood is another vibe. So yeah. There's also yin yoga, getting outside, eating the rainbow, time in nature, debriefing with a loved one, walking barefoot, grounding, music and dance, positive self-talk, reminding yourself that this too shall pass. And you can also tap your fingers. So this too shall pass, and just keep doing that on repeat. It just brings you back into your body and out of your mind sometimes.
Something I've done previously as well is like tapping on your body, like tapping on your chest. That's been really calming for me in the past, and sighing. Sometimes we just need to be like, and not realizing that's also releasing pent, stuck up energy, and can be fulfilling in itself. That's why as mums, we're constantly like, it's like, in doing that, we're naturally regulating our nervous system. Gardening is huge for me lately. I'm loving getting out in the garden. Tapping into your senses. So all of your senses, taste, touch, sight, sound, smell, just really honing in on that. If you're having a hot minute, you can look around. What do I see? What do I smell? And you can, pick a number, say 3, the power of 3. And you'll be like, what are 3 things I see? What are 3 things I smell? 3 things I can hear. And it just brings you back into your body.
Yeah. And what we do to stay consistently regulated, so we just thought we would preface this in a different little thing, is to limit alcohol as much as possible. Also limiting screen time, nutrition, hydration, and movement.
Connection with others. So tap into those friends, those family members, the people that you love around you. Self-care, fill that cup, baby girl. Give others the overflow as well. And we cannot preface enough boundaries. Have some strict boundaries and make sure that you're putting you first.
Gratitude, purpose. Obviously, mum life and work are purposeful. But we are pursuing our, like, for an example, we're pursuing our dreams outside of those important roles as well, because this is something that we want to do, e.g. the podcast, e.g. your healing circles. And that just gives you another, like, you just don't get stuck in those identities sometimes, I think. And being a mum is beautiful and all the rest of it, but pursuing your dreams, we think is highly, beneficial for the nervous system as well. Spreading love and light as well. Just what you give out to the world will come back to you tenfold.
Learning and growing as humans. So just constantly evolving. Sign yourself up for little courses. There's lots of free ones out there. You would be surprised. So sign up for them, build your knowledge base, learn, grow, continuously evolve, and spending time with our kids, connection, really engaging in connection and instilling those core values that you want to have with your family into your children.
Amen, sister. We just want to preface also, when your nervous system is regulated, you feel safe within your body and your whole world literally changes. The dynamic of your home, your relationship with yourself, friends, family, and your community. That is what Coming Home to Her is all about. And this is the ethos to our podcast. And we're learning and growing, healing, and loving ourselves back home to her, to us. We are home.
Oh, I don't know why, but that brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
So
it really is. Like, when we actually wrote Coming Home to Her, when we first started the podcast, like, we sort of knew what it meant, but like, since we've been going on our journey and we both become trauma-informed coaches and all the rest of it, we were like, wow, like, it's just really hitting more and more, and it's just so beautiful.
It just lands, like, you just get it.
Amen.
You're gonna find that you're gonna go through, as we said before, life's like ebbs and flows with more ease. You're gonna be better equipped. You're going to, have more strategies and feel like, I can actually do this. Okay, is this a small problem or a big problem? Am I going to let this take a lot of my energy, or am I going to regulate myself and let it take a little bit of energy so that I have more energy to exert doing things that I love throughout the day? So like, this doesn't not happen overnight. It is not easy, and it's always a work in progress. There's a lot of self-reflecting along the way, trial and error, because all the things that we listed are things that work for us, things that we found along the way. However, it might be very different. You might have other things that regulate your nervous system. You might be really into cold therapy. You might love to go swimming, so you will develop your own toolkit. But of course, we hope that some of these strategies you will be able to adapt to suit your own life and needs. And some days are going to be hard, but what's the alternative? What is the alternative? Don't stay stuck. You've got this.
You've got this, honeys. You totally deserve a regulated nervous system and your dream life and everything else. But yeah, coming home to her is where it's at.
Absolutely. And you know what? We were so excited to talk about all of the regulated things. I don't even think we talked about what a dysregulated nervous system might feel like.
Oh, true.
We're just so excited to share how our nervous systems are regulated, but you might be like, okay, well, what does dysregulation feel like? So dysregulated nervous system is like a condition where the balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic branches of what's called the autonomic nervous system is disrupted. And so this can affect the body's arousal and activation levels, making it hard to manage emotions and behavior. And so, babe, did you want to talk about some of the symptoms you might feel?
Yeah, heart palpitations, insomnia, so lack of sleep, poor mental health, memory loss, chronic illness, dis-ease in the body, a heightened state, like you're just always hyper alert or hyper fixated on things. You can have things like, OCD, all that sort of stuff as well with a dysregulated nervous system. And low energy is another, heightened energy, like ebbs and flows through going high and low a lot. So yeah.
And you just feel like your body is not safe. You feel like, your body, you're always just watching out for something or waiting for something to happen. And then when something does happen, even a small problem, your body just goes into like overexertion, and it's like, there's a threat. Oh my God. And next minute you're like sweating, and you can't breathe properly, and you just feel like there's something weighing down on your chest. But once you develop these tools and strategies, you can utilize those in the moment. And at first, when we first started doing this, it would be crazy because, it would take a while sometimes for them to work. But now that it's kind of become like a second nature, like a habit, and we're so used to utilizing these tools and strategies, it's almost just like, oh, this is just natural. This just flows. It just goes. This is what I'm meant to do. Oh, this has happened. Okay. My body just automatically does what it knows helps regulate it. So I don't even have to really think about it anymore.
Yeah, which is amazing, because at first you kind of do have to think about it, hey, until it becomes like a habit within your body. But like just before I hopped on the podcast, I'm like, I need a hot minute. Like, and that's our word now, is just need a hot minute. And sometimes that's all you need is a hot minute just to be with yourself and just sit there in silence. And then, just move the emotion, acknowledge it's there, and then move on with your day. And obviously if it's a more deep-rooted emotion or feeling that you're getting, if you can't like process it in the moment, you can come back to it later as well. So like somatic ways of, using the bats and punching like a punching bag and things like that, if it's rage, for example. So I'm sure we're going to have another episode along the lines of this as well, as we keep like learning and growing and healing and all the rest of it. And when we get more tools under our belt and knowledge and all the rest of it. So
thanks so much for tuning in, and we hope you learned something or you'll try some of these tips and tricks. As always, our DMs are open, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are always happy to chat. If you have some questions about a certain technique, then please do let us know.
Thank you for tuning in, beautiful humans. We love you.
We love you. Take care, guys.
Bye.
We hope you feel inspired to take back your power. Thank you for listening into the EWP Potty with Jules and Day. We want to challenge you to share this potty with someone you love. Let's get all women involved. Follow us on Insta at empoweringwomen_project. Facebook and TikTok at Empowering Women Project.
We invite you to interact with us on our socials, our threads, and in our DMs. We are open to collaborating and invite you to reach out if you feel inspired to be a guest on our EWP podcast. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. We encourage you to start believing in yourself and the magic of the universe.